I think that once I hit some of these due dates that I've created for myself, because I don't want things to go longer than they should, I'm going to take some time to like just chill and create for fun. I'd like to list the things that I've done since March. Let me see if I can remember everything. So, let's see. I have done some virtual open mics, some readings. 1, 2, 3. At least 3 in March. Author interviews. Additional open mics. Submitted to myriad of places. Signed up to be a part of different projects. Joined a collective. Have begun doing horoscopes for over a month. I started my merch store. And when I tell you I've submitted to a myriad of places, I'm talking about like 10 to maybe even 15 places. Twitter really is that place for connecting with like-minded creatives. So definitely do that. And now I'm creating another space, and I'm working on creating 2 different safe spaces. Started a Patreon. Yeah. So that's just off top. We got racers outside. What I wanted to say also about Mfkin Mercado, I know that I jumped back, but circling it back is my memory literally is, it became a ritual between my grandmother and I to stop what we were doing during primer impacto, and the whole world stops, and we would listen to Mfkin Mercado. And even when he got off TV, once a year we would get these New Year rituals to do. And it's legit Mfkin was an integral part of my whole entire life. And I really feel like Mfkin knew also like Reiki, because of how the energy, how he used energy to uplift and give people hope. You know, if you're not accustomed to any of this like magnificent opulence, you might just be like, what is going on? But I do recommend that you check it out, because that's one of the best gems coming from Ponce, Puerto Rico, which is where we do that at. But yes, so that is definitely a feel-good, self-care, emotive situation for anybody. The reviews everywhere are just hilarious. So it's just dope. It's cool. Check it out. Check it out. What else have I been doing? I've actually been getting really cool reviews from my book. So I have been very joyous about that. I've been told that it's inspirational and it's just good. Like, people who don't know me are saying that it's good. Like, this is not my mom or my auntie. It's strangers. So I love to hear feedback. So, you know, if you want to talk about a show or whatever, I love that kind of feedback. If it's negative, don't. Shh. One thing is negative and one thing is constructive. And so I'm here for it. I'm here for constructive. And I randomly remembered, I like bucket list item I performed on Right About Now on their live stream open mic. That was cool. So the poetry community that I have encountered is really, really dope. Just wanted to put that out there into the universe. I'm a little all over the place, y'all, and that's just my honest thing. I usually like to come with themes or a complete thought process, but my brain is slightly fried. I've done some work, and I've done some classes, and I've done so many things that I'm just like, So hopefully, I got therapy tomorrow. Looking forward to that. And let's talk about Black women. I think that if you haven't heard, and it's pop culture, but it's also like a continued reality that keeps happening. And so Megan Thee Stallion, which is one of my faves, period, got shot. We don't have the whole story. We don't know everything. And we may never know, because you know what? It's not exactly our business, right? But just the possibility or possible fact that she was shot in the foot. And it just reshifts, I don't know. It reminds me that Black women are continuously in danger just for existing. And if anyone came from one, has that one friend, and I'm not talking about an acquaintance, but somebody that you literally speak to often and break bread with them. If you hear and listen to her, it's the first step. I think we complain about not being protected by our men, and that's not like just partners, but like our loved ones, our community. And that's difficult because it's hard to be self-preserving when everyone's fighting you against it. And even, I am strong. You're dehumanizing me. Because to be strong doesn't include everything that I've had to deal with to be resilient. And that's also part of why I wrote Soliloquy of an Ice Queen, because it's like everyone has these opinions about how I move through the world. And no one asks, why? How did you get there? What happened? What about the days that I don't feel quote unquote strong or resilient? How do I allow a safe space for myself to show up in this world as soft and vulnerable? And it's troubling to see where there have been men who make fun of this, which bizarre, or just taking light out of something that is, it's not a game. And everyone in marginalized communities are oppressed, But usually, Black women in all of the name, I'm not talking about just a type of Black woman. I'm talking about transgender. I'm talking about LGBTQIA plus everybody, and cisgendered Black women are usually the ones in most danger. Why is that? Why is it acceptable to extract and take but not protect? That's something that continues to be a cyclical reminder and a trauma of sorts, because it's like, I want to be free in this world, right? And I can only be free to an extent in the places that I have created to be safe. But outside of that, I always have to wonder and question, is it truly safe to be in this space among these people? If something happens to me, will someone show up? And to have a negative answer about that just based on experience can be disheartening. And so I know this got like real heavy, but this is reality. And the most creative existence is the woman. And you can disagree with me about that. This might not be the podcast for you. But that's just reality. Like, for those who can have children, like, there would be no children without those who can have them. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing. Like, if all Black women disappeared, what would the world look like? What would your world look like? You know, maybe you're not part of the Black and brown community, but like the culture, the way some people dress, the way people groom themselves, beauty, all of that, there would be no standard of beauty if Black women were no longer around. You know why? Because there's no one to be comparing to. And so I want to establish that how can Black women feel protected? Stop taking up space that doesn't belong to you. If I speak or someone else speaks, this is my experience. Who are you to speak over that person? And this is just a lesson in like basic humanity, right? If I say I am uncomfortable, do not argue with me about it. Try to understand why or how, or don't ask anything and just listen. If there is a Black woman being vulnerable with you because there is a type of trust there, nurture that. We don't get that gift often. You know, being all of these titles can remove the human aspect from us. Yeah, it's cool, mother. It's cool, sister. It's cool, wife, spouse, partner, employee, boss. But what about me?